we go.
Hey, okay. You got this, hey everyone. This is Damon with Gordon Reese and my colleagues Steve Freeland and Ryan Petit. And then we've got from Solvpath, Carl D'Agostino and JR Sharon. We were on a Zoom call moments ago, the same Zoom call, when we were talking about doing a vlog about the FTC's click to cancel rule, dealing with subscription billing. And strangely, bizarrely, while we're on this call, we just got word that the Eighth Circuit issued an opinion vacating the FTC's click to cancel rule, saying right now it cannot be enforced. And that was just so mind boggling that we wanted to record this so we could get the word out ASAP so the e-commerce industry ecosystem could know about this. Steve can give you a little more detail about this opinion, and we want to do that. But really, more important than that is we don't want people to take this as a green light to ignore a subscription billing law, because what happens when there are these opinions is the states jump into the fray, and they can be worse than the FTC. California is doing that already. Its law mirrors the FTC click to cancel rule. The New York Attorney General just announced that they also want to require click to cancel for all New York consumers. So there's a lot going on. We want to make sure people know about it. And this is a good combination of GRSM and Solvpath talking about this important issue for our clients. Steve, do you want to kick it off and just describe a little bit about the opinion?
Sure. So just by way of background, real quick, the FTC had promulgated a rule known as the click to cancel rule. It basically still embodies the existing rules that we're going to talk about when it comes to anything sold on continuity, free to pay, subscription billing. We're going to talk about that because those rules are all still in effect. But it also added two things. It added a requirement of easy click to cancel. So for example, someone could go into their customer account portal, click a button and cancel their subscription. The other component that was very sort of a power grab by the FTC was that you could be completely compliant with their new click to cancel requirement and the subscription billing requirements. But if you had anything that was false or deceptive about your product or service, you could still be in violation of the rule. And so you could be completely compliant with subscription billing click to cancel, but have something that's deceptive in your funnel, bam, you're still in violation of the rule. Without getting too into legalese, what the Eighth Circuit said was there were some procedural problems with the rulemaking process. They didn't conduct a regulatory analysis. That's very technical. And that, there was a challenge that it was also called what's arbitrary and capricious. And so for now, this rule is it's not going to take effect next week like it was going to. And we have been planning an entire presentation about how to comply with it. And now it's somewhat unnecessary, but we do want to touch on some of the things that remain. Damon touched on the states, but let's stay with the FTC. So many of you probably know about a statute called ROSCO. ROSCO was enacted specifically to address subscription billing, free to pay programs, any other continuity programs. Still, even after this decision, if you're selling anything with any type of recurring billing, there are two main requirements. One, all material terms of the offer of the subscription billing terms have to be clearly and conspicuously disclosed. What does that mean? That means unavoidable to a consumer. Can't be buried at the bottom of the page, can't be buried in a set of terms that are hyperlinked. They've got to be clearly disclosed to the consumer. Secondly, you've got to get the consumer's express agreement to the subscription billing terms. Something to the effect of an unchecked checkbox that says, I agree that the credit card I provided today is going to be charged $39.99 a month starting today and every 30 days thereafter. I understand that I can cancel at any time by emailing here or going to my account portal. Something to that effect. That is, and it's got to be in clear offset font on the checkout page, on the sales page. That's sort of the most unassailable way to get consent to subscription billing terms. All of those rules are still in effect,
Yep.
even after this decision.
Right.
And so if you're selling anything on subscription, you still need to comply with that component.
Absolutely. And then the cancellation mechanism is always required. It's got to be simple and easy, but and the FTC said you have to have an electronic means to cancel, but we still have that with California, and other states are still enacting laws similar to that. So good news, but we still need to step up. A lot of people, a lot of businesses need to step up. Let me ask Carl and JR, people watching this probably know, but can you tell folks what Solvpath is, what Solvpath does, and how you help businesses comply with subscription billing laws, in particular with respect to cancellation, and how you do that in a way that helps the clients both comply with the law, but also save the sale and increase retention, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, Solvpath originally started out as a way of allowing a self-service model to handle customer support. So if somebody had product related questions, wanted to cancel an order, adjust billing frequency, they had the ability to do that. And obviously, if somebody wanted to cancel an order, cancel a subscription, and or return an item, we always wanted to potentially figure out ways to deter people or deflect a cancellation or a return, because obviously aid into their bottom line. So it was made more sense financially to offer maybe a product exchange, offer a discount. So we have that ability to do that in our system. So the ability for us to automate customer support, phone, email, and digital support sessions, obviously allows us to automate customer support, which is substantially cheaper than going to a live agent, whether it's an email ticket or a call going to a live call center. 5, 10 years ago, it made sense. Phone and email was responsible for a lion's share of inbounds, but consumers today prefer a self-service option.
Yeah, and frankly, the law requires it. You can't just simply say to cancel your subscription, call this toll-free number or send an email to customer support. The subscription billing laws now require that there be an online mechanism out in California and elsewhere.
So yeah, no, the fact of the matter on that is as well, I think there's a Harvard business study that was released that 60% of consumers would rather self-serve than talk to, a customer service rep or wait on hold.
I think right now so outside of the benefits of offering consumer first model, right? Allowing the consumer to have a little more control over a self-service model, managing their own subscription, whether they want to pause it, push it back, the next bill date, do a product swap. They can do everything right through the portal, really simple and easy. But it's also transparency. By allowing the consumer getting in front of them faster, save rates are much higher. Chargebacks are a lot less. Consumers today are much more privy on how to actually file a dispute. Sometimes it's easier to actually file a dispute than it is to actually wait on hold or jump through those hoops to try to cancel something. In addition, obviously the VAMP program with the TC40 ratios is a big conversation now. So if somebody is considered high risk and dealing with some form of chargebacks, those ratios and the costs and the fines associated with figuring out ways of how do I mitigate chargebacks, customer support plays a really big role there. So the ability to get in front of the consumer faster definitely helps. And then control, data, analytics, understanding, hey, where are my cancels happening? Why is it happening? Is it a particular product, a specific billing cycle, a specific traffic source? And the ability to create segments and be able to go super granular. Big brands get it and they're already doing it. So people that are really building a brand, there's so much time and energy focused on acquiring a customer. Where's the time and the energy to actually put towards retaining them and keeping them? And hey, you know what? They want to cancel your subscription. That's okay. If you made that hard for them, good luck trying to cross-sell them another product. So big brands are focused on lifetime value and retention and making sure they're delivering a really good product and looking at the data. So Solvpath, outside of automating support, the ability to actually play around with your retention campaigns and strategies, we do a really good job of that. And that's kind of the value that we bring to the table.
And I was just going to add there, it's interesting because I think that there was this thought in the industry and in e-commerce that if you allow somebody to cancel, they're going to be gone. But the data that we see shows that, there's a 5% increase in retention and you're actually reducing disputes, you're reducing refunds, etc. So give them that easy cancellation mechanism and it typically pays off for your brand.
Ryan, what have you observed there?
Well, I mean, I was just sitting here thinking more about how California is going to be stepping in. I mean, the headline is FTC click to cancel is dead, but as of January or July 1st of this year, I mean, the no misrepresentation prohibition is still in effect, which means anyone who's selling on subscription, if you're misrepresenting the efficacy of your product, there's going to be a latch there for class liability or enforcement action from the CART task force. Also, I mean, there are increased disclosure requirements and consent requirements. I mean, I don't want anybody to walk away from this call being like, hey, great, click to cancel is dead. I don't really have to do anything. I can just forget everything that any of my attorneys are saying. Like, that is definitely not the case. I mean, California, I mean, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I mean, I think California regulators were thinking about the challenges under the AP that were coming to the click to cancel rule, and they started a legislative process to pretty much fill the void. And I think we are
Yeah.
still in the exact same place today as we were, yesterday.
Yeah, we saw that about 5, 6 years ago with the TCPA decision, the Facebook versus Degree decision, that narrowed the definition of what an auto dialer was, something that no business was using. And so it became harder to bring these federal TCPA cases. And everyone thought, oh, that's great. But then all these states started passing their own state mini TCPA statutes. And now we have more TCPA cases than we had 6 years ago. And so it's surprising. It's kind of counterintuitive. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But no doubt there are going to be a lot of state attorneys general who know it's going to be politically popular to tell people in their state, I've got your back. We're going to go after companies that make it difficult to cancel. And the good news, again, is that Solvpath has a really good solution to comply with that law, but also strengthen the relationship and bond and communication with the consumer. So it's a win-win. Comply and make more money. And so I encourage folks to check it out. Any final thoughts?
Nothing on my side.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.